Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I want to talk to you guys and girls about a little topic, and it's something I did cover the other day a bit, but it was put back in my memory and thought process yesterday when I was hitting some qualifiers at the local weightlifting club because I wanted to use some calibrated plates to test my openers, and that went really well, by the way. I just played around with just 600 to open with. They were all really easy lifts. Everything felt good. Everything was meet legal, not a problem. So tested my openers with calibrated plates and was hanging out with some other lifters, including a friend of mine who had invited me up there to do that. And he's, talking about competing, and he's wanting to compete. This guy's come back from some serious injuries. He's been really, really injured several times playing football over here, British football player, just obviously amateur level. He ruptured a hamstring, had to have surgery on it, and all sorts of other stuff. And he's really started training, and he's sitting here saying, well, I want to compete this coming up year, but I don't know if I'm really ready. I don't know if I'm good enough. I can't be the best. Even in this country, I mean, there's guys who are out totaling me, but then I looked at his numbers and I said, what are you hitting for triples? And his triples right now, and he's even saying, well, I've gained some fat trying to regain muscle mass off muscle memory, and I've gotten to a heavier weight than I want to be in. And we look at his triples, and if what he's doing right now for 3 rep sets, if we were to count that as, say, 90%, and he were to just add 10% to that to do singles with, and walk into a meet right now, he would qualify for nationals in his weight class, in a heavier weight class that he wants to be in right now, here in his federation, in his drug-tested fed. He could qualify to go to nationals, which would mean he's an okay lifter. Doesn't mean he's a great lifter, but he's certainly decent enough to go to nationals. As someone coming back from an injury, only been training again less than a year. And I told him, well, why don't you just go in and do it? And I'm not saying he's like this, but a lot of people take that mentality of saying, if I can't be really, really good, or if I can't be the best at something, I'm not going to bother doing it. And in all honesty, you can't take that sort of attitude in life, because if you're waiting around thinking that you're going to be the best, or you're going to be the ultra elite at anything that you do and enjoy, before you bother to really try to do it further, you're going to have a miserable life. You're never going to accomplish anything, because almost nobody in this world, a tiny minority of people, are the best at anything. Doesn't matter what it is. It's such a tiny fraction of the population, and if you have to be the best at something to be happy in life, if that's the mentality you have, because your life is going to suck. And the thing is, with something like powerlifting is something that you get better at through competing. By actually competing, you interact with other lifters, you interact with coaches, you meet coaches, and they will help you get better. And if you don't actually get in and try, first of all, you're never going to find out how good you actually are, or how good you can be, until you get in and start really doing it. But once you start competing in meets, you're only going to excel from there, because you're going to get better. You're going to get better at competing. You're going to make connections, contacts. You're going to meet other people with knowledge who can help you. You're going to meet people who are going to help motivate you. You're going to push yourself harder because you're now competing. You're going to be more focused in your training. You're going to make more progress if you start competing. And you can't worry about what other people say about you. And take my friend John East, for example, who I compete with, hang out with, train with, good friend of mine here, who kicked my ass at the qualifier. Well, this is someone who, when he started training 5 years ago, walking to a gym his first time, started training, other guys were making fun of his lifts. And they were laughing at him, and what he had told them back then, he goes, you know what, you guys might all be stronger than me right now, but one day, I'm going to outlift you. So just give me time, guys. And a lot of people would say, oh, what a shit talker, oh, a silly kid. But he trained hard. He trained his ass off. And now he's been training for 5 years, and he started competing something like 2 years after he started lifting. He started competing really early. He started competing with a shitty total. He started meeting coaches. He started meeting other lifters. He started getting advice and started improving. And he's consistently improved every year. And now he's only been training 5 years. That's not a really long time. He's walking in at meets right now with over a 400 raw Wilks. He's now competing at the international level. He went to the WPC European this year after our qualifier. He kicked all of our butts in the qualifier. He's a drug-free lifter, uses no drugs. In fact, he was offered, and it may or may not have been me who offered him, some Anadrol at our meet, and he said, no, I haven't hit my natty limit yet. I'm not going to try anything until I have reached my drug-free limits, and then I'll worry about that. and he walked in and beat everybody. He doesn't use supplements. He doesn't follow a diet. He eats a junk food diet, doesn't track what he eats. All he has is his work ethic, his training, which is good, and his genetics. And that has got him, with 5 years of consistency, he is kicking butt, and he's going to continue to get better and better and better. And if he ever does go on drugs, there's not a snowball's chance in hell I will ever beat him at a meet, even if I continue to improve. I'll never be able to compete with him. He'll beat me every time. It's better genetics than me. And yet, I still go to meets with him. I still compete against him. I still smack talk him before meets to try to work his nerves a little bit. And I have a good time competing against and with him, even though I go into it knowing that he's going to beat me every time. And this is someone who everyone was making fun of a few years ago when he started lifting, and he was getting trolled and teased and made fun of because he was weak. And now he's kicking everybody's ass. He is crushing guys on tons of gear at meets, and he still hasn't cashed in his natty card yet. And his attitude was always one of, well, it doesn't matter where I'm at now. If I keep working and I keep moving forward, I'm going to get better and better and better as long as I don't give up and I keep pushing forward. And look at the results. He's 5 years in, making amazing progress, and he's not going to stop. I don't foresee him slowing down anytime in the near future. And so the question I ask the people, what are you worried about? People say, oh, well, someone might make fun of me because I'm not that good yet. Well, guess what, guys? I jumped in and said, look, this is the year I've got to get back in and start competing. I know I've been rebuilding. I know it's taking time. I know it's taking me longer than I want. Plus, I'm all over the internet. When I do these meets, my total is not going to be that fantastic yet. I'm going to be made fun of. I'm going to be mocked. And I sure as hell was, and I still am. I mean, if you look right now, you can Google my name and look all over forums, and you will find at least 20 or 30 threads on various forums calling me out, talking about how weak I am, how pathetic I am, how terrible my genetics are. But you know what? Even though that is there, and people all over the world talk negatively about me and my performance, do you know what? I'm still happy. My life still went on. I'm still competing. I'm still progressing. I'm still moving forward. And I'm happy with myself as a person. So, my point to all of you, if you're worried someone's going to make fun of you somewhere because you're trying to better yourself, who cares? You're still doing what makes you happy. You're still going to be trying to improve. You're still going to be competing. You're still going to be moving forward. Who cares? And do you really care what a bunch of losers think who make fun of someone and make fun of you if you're trying and you're actually putting yourself out there and you're actually fucking trying? Do you really care what a bunch of losers say about you who are too lazy to even bother and to just shit talk you? Or, even better, if they are better than you, that shit talking can be motivation. If those people are bad mouthing you, welcome it. Use that as your training fuel to say, you know what, fuck that guy. I'm going to catch him and I'm going to beat him. Fuck him for talking shit about me. Use that as motivation. Use those things to push yourself forward to become better. And don't sit around waiting to do something or improve yourself until you know that you can be the best. Just be the best that you can be right now. And just make sure that next time you're better, and the time after that you're better. Just focus on continually being the best that you can be at any given time. And if you can keep moving forward and you can keep beating yourself and surpassing yourself, you're already a winner, even if you're not the best in the world. That's already the mindset of a champion. And if you can stick that out long enough and consistently enough, who knows, you might be a champion. So don't sit around waiting until you can be the best before you actually get off your ass and do something. Just get out there and do it. If it's something that you want to do and that you would enjoy and get some fulfillment from, jump in and do it. And just better yourself and do the things that make you happy. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. But let me give you guys a bicep shot before I go. Oh, Mount Vesuvius.